Hello, fellow glue sniffers and sprue snippers. Welcome back to Blitzkrieg Modelworks. I'm Bob. You know me as Darkland on the forums. And hey, what is this? This doesn't look like an Italy Leopard 2. No, it's not. Very observant of you. This is the Tamiya Stug 3 Early. Now, you saw the title card on the intro for the Stug Life group build. What is the Stug Life group build, you ask? Well, on one of the forums that I'm a member, international scale modeler, based out of the UK, but there's modelers from all over the world. One of the members, a guy named Mann, who I'm going to I'll put a link to both those websites and Adam's YouTube channel in the comments below. He put out that he wanted to do a Stug group build. Not a lot of rules to it. There's no prizes, there's no judging. It's just a fun thing, and it starts from today, and I think it goes until, if memory serves, the end of December. Don't quote me on that. So plenty of time, and basically you can do any type of Stug, any type of Stug 3, Stug 4, whatever. Most of the guys seem to be doing the dragon kits, which is fine. You can do any scale you want, which is fine. I just happen to have this old Tamiya one, and I shouldn't really say old. They did make one older than this. I think it was back in the 70s. This was released, I believe, in the 90s. And the 70s one is just trash compared to this thing. I'm sorry if anybody's got the old, Stug Tamiya kit with the motorization holes in the hull and the tracks that are smooth on one side. But, I mean, honestly, they're garbage. They're okay for a beginner modeler if you can get it cheap enough, but if you want a really good Stug and you want to do Tamiya, because they just build beautifully out of the box, they're not quite nicely as detailed and have as many options as the dragon kits, but they're gorgeous when you do them up. And I've never done a Stug before. I've done a lot of German vehicles, but I've been primarily doing Panthers and paper Panzers, a few E100s, a Maus, a Flak E100, way back when was it Chesapeake Model Designs did one. I did a twin 88 Flak E100, which technically isn't finished yet, unfortunately, but you didn't hear that. So anyway, this is going to be part of my group build. I've just got to finish up that Italy Leopard 2 that I'm doing for you guys, and I'm doing another group build, which unfortunately I'm not going to finish in time. It's actually a contest that's on TrackLink. Excuse me. Bronco Models is doing a group build contest for any Bronco kit, armor kit, any scale, but it's got to be an armor kit with the exception of the Horset glider because it's in 1/35. Unfortunately, I sat on my butt too long. It took me too long to get the item that I wanted, which I wanted their Panzer 1F, which I got, and I've gotten as far as that. So I've got the interior done up here. I don't know if you can see that. Lighting really sucks. I gotta get some better lights for this. It's way dirtier than it needs to be, but I was experimenting with making it really grubby and looking used and trashed, and I'm sure they wouldn't be in that rough a shape for the time period I'm looking at. But anyway, back to the Stug. The Tamiya kit is really nice. Let me just get out all the goodies that I'm going to throw in here and just get the kit itself. So this is what you get in the box, and this is how far along I got in this. I bought this kit when it first came out, and it's still sealed. It's still sealed. That's pretty sad. I didn't even take it out to look at it, but I mean, you look at the molding on that. I mean, I remember what the old one looked like, and it was, like I said, it was trash when I saw this. This is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. The suspension just plugs in. It actually keys in. I don't know how well you can see this. There's these little pins right there. So your torsion bar suspension keys into these to make sure that they're all leveled, so that they're all flat. But if you want to model an articulated suspension, you just cut the pins off and then you can swivel to wherever you want. Awesome. Not sure how I'm going to display it yet, or if I'm going to do anything other than a shelf queen, but we'll deal with that as it comes. Typical Tamiya fashion, very clear cut, very well detailed, weld lines on the hull, on the upper hull are just incredible. I'll pull that open. It's almost like an unboxing of something 20 years old. I mean, look at those weld seams, you know. And the scary thing is, I've seen the weld seams on the new Panther D, and they're even better than this. It's just incredible. At this stage, they weren't doing the texture for the cold rolled armor plate, but this is still very, very nice. I don't know if I'm going to use the figures in here. I've been digging through my stash. I don't seem to have anything specific for Stug figures. I'll see what's out there. I know there's a whack of new manufacturers making figures, so I'll have to look at that. It's got Schertzen, and I've actually, honestly, never built a German kit with Schertzen. Debating whether I should or shouldn't. Has the vinylish tracks. I believe you can actually glue the Tamiya ones together. That won't matter to me at all because I'm not going to use that. Everything that I was going to build this in, and at one point I probably had an idea for this. Be damned if I can remember what it is now. But we have all kinds of goodies. We've got some Furl Panzer 3 and 4. This is late solid horn with the ice cleat in there. We've got the Aber. If I can get this unstuck, that's the kit decals. We've got some very nice Aber photo etch. Now, the kit, I actually have some of the Tamiya photo etch as well. I don't know if it's any better today. This stuff, in comparison, this stuff is like handling butter. This is like handling plywood. This stuff was brutal to deal with. So we're going to stick with the Aber, except for maybe the anti-aircraft gun sights. If you can see that, because those look pretty decent. And another thing that I've got, and I'm not sure if I'm going to use, it's the ATAC Zimrit set. Again, I got this when it first came out, and this is a resin set. I'm seeing a lot of stuff now that's photo etch, but this is resin in a waffle pattern. I'll take that out and see it a little bit easier. I mean, this is like you can see my hand through it. That's how thin this stuff is. Look how gorgeous that texture is. I've tried Zimrit in the past, long time ago, and I was horrible at it. I was trying to do it with putty and a screwdriver. I knew some modelers back in the club I used to belong to when I lived in a different city that actually, they had stamps for waffle pattern. They actually made styrene stamps. One guy actually had a white metal stamp, so you could actually lubricate it and stick it into the putty and it wouldn't stick. And then they have some of the hard parts like ventilation covers, this is transmission housing covers, final drive covers, the exhaust. So I'm debating using this. I think it'd be really cool, especially since there's, without any rolled texture, and I've tried doing that before and it's difficult to do right for me, so I'm thinking I'll do this, if nothing else, to give it some visual interest. So, like I said, I had this years ago, collected all that when that kit first came out, and as I said, I must have had something in mind because I have these in my collection as well. So, great book, the Squadron publications. I know there's guys that kind of poo-poo them a little bit, but for the price, what you get out of these is phenomenal. Some of the pictures that they have in here, I mean, there's color plates, there's close-ups, there's all different types, vehicles, color pictures in some of them. some history dates. A lot of it again depends on who the author for it actually was, but usually they're pretty sharp. And then for those that don't mind spending money on reference, writing books are awesome. They're really expensive. If memory serves, I paid, well, memory's pretty bad, but I probably paid between $70 and $100 for this way back in the day. Came out in '98. I guess Uwe Feist did this. Was it one of the artists or one of the authors? If not the author, can't remember. Sorry if you are. But again, there's so much more information in here. You know, color shots, so doing stuff like that. I mean, this is just incredible. So I've got lots of reference. There's no excuse for me to build an inaccurate kit. It just comes down to how I'm going to actually finish it. It's an early model, but it would have been used all the way through the war till the very end. So I got to try and figure out what I'm going to finish, and I'll go through the reference and try and figure that out, and try and pick up one of those metal gun barrels. I didn't have a gun barrel in here, and back when I quit, the guys were just starting to get into really cool stuff like putting rifling in. And now they got all these other machine brass pieces with the aluminum barrels, so everything's in multi-stage instead of just a turned brass barrel with maybe a cast muzzle brake. So it'll look a lot nicer. So that's next up on deck, and once I get the Bronco done, I have an even more interesting project lined up. I always like to do 2 at a time, keeps me busy. So anyway, look for updates here pretty quick as soon as I get that Leopard done, and we'll talk to you later. Please leave any comments in the comment section below. Again, I will have links to International Scale Modelers website for their forums, and a link to Adam Mann's YouTube channel. So please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you very much for watching.